These are the best 3x3s at every price point. Christmas edition. Since it's Christmas, it's the best time to buy a Speedcube, and I'll help you decide which one's the best without breaking the bank. Starting with the best cube under $5. That goes to the Maylong non-magnetic at $3.99. I only have the pastel version of this cube, and it's fine for $4, but I have the Maylong 3M, and I mained it when I started out speedcubing. It's a pretty blocky and stable cube, but I will say this cube is very tight, which is not ideal for most beginners, but it's not too bad. Now I feel like the non-magnetic version is outdated, so spending the extra $3 is definitely worth it because it adds a lot of stability to the cube. Although this cube has no dual adjustment system, corner core magnets, or anything crazy like that, it's still the best budget cube at this price range. Next are the best cubes at under $10. At this price, there's only two worthy cubes, the RS3M 2020 and the RS3M Super. The RS3M 2020 is the cheapest of the two and also the oldest, but that's not to say it's worse. I believe it's an incredible cube that's still relevant even 3 years later. It's crunchy, blocky, and speedy, and has amazing corner cutting. All this for $8.99 with an adjustment system is a complete steal. And finally, the RS3M Super. This has got to be the best budget cube in 2023. It's got the feel of a premium cube, the sound of a premium cube, and the performance of a premium cube. And all this for $9.99 for the standard is insane. All these reasons are why I named the RS3M Super the budget cube king in 2023 and the best budget cube at under $10. Next is the best cube under $15. Now this is where Maglev becomes the star of the show. Maglev is when two magnets oppose one another, creating the same tension that springs do. In turn, it reduces friction, making the cubes much faster, and gets rid of the spring noise. The cube that features Maglev for $15 is the RS3M 2021. Its mechanism is the same as our 2020, just with Maglev instead of springs. This cube feels exactly like the 2020, but it is a bit faster due to the Maglev. So, is it worth the $5 upcharge? Well, not quite. I do think that it makes the cube a little bit better, but it requires more setup to control it, which is not ideal for people starting out. So I'll recommend skipping this cube and getting the best cube under $20. Now there's a lot of options at this price, but there's only two that reign supreme. There's all-stick version of the Skewb Pro M. I recommend the 54mm with springs. And the RS3M Super Ball Core. The Super Ball Core has a ball core with core magnets, Maglev, and an adjustment system. It was previously used by Luke Garrett to get a 502 average on it. It feels the same as the standard version, and it comes in at $19.99. As for the Skewb, I think it's a really good cube, but I wouldn't say it's the best for two-handed. This cube, at least this version, is very good for one-handed, as the size is perfect for OH turning with smooth, plush, and crunchy turning style. I think it's the best cube for one-handed. And it comes in at $16.99, which is a great price, and I highly recommend you pick this cube up. Next, the best cube under $25. That goes to the RS3M V5. This cube is incredible, and right now, it's my main cube, and I highly recommend it. It has almost all the premium features from Milieu, including corner core magnets, UV coating, Maglev, and a dual adjustment system. It does lack some key features like edge repelling magnets and adjustable magnets, but it does make up for it in price. $24.99 for a cube that rivals more expensive options out there is incredible. It's a fast, stable, yet flexible build, and it's kind of a combination of an RS3M 2020 with a Maylong V9. Its corner cutting is a little bit worse than other Milieu cubes, but it is fixed with setup. So I highly recommend you get this cube for under $25. Now, what can you get for $5 more? Well, the only cube I recommend at this price point is the YS3M Ball Core. It was one of the first cubes that Milieu released this year, but it's still definitely one of the best. I don't use it much personally anymore, but I do think that the price is amazing. It's $25.99, which is only $1 more expensive than the V5, and some people might like the more stability that it has. But it does like UV coating, which could be a downer for some people. So if you really like the 2020 and the 2021, this cube is a perfect upgrade for you. Now, it's a pretty blocky cube, yet it's very fast, and the corner cutting is incredible. So I highly recommend you get this cube, even now at the end of 2023. Next, the best cube under $35. This cube's a bit of an oldie, but it's still a goodie. And it was used by the one and only Max Park to break the world record, so you know it's good. What cube am I talking about, you may ask? The Tornado V3. It's still probably one of the best cubes out there, and I still highly recommend it. Me personally, I don't like it that much, but you might like it better. It's super fast, has a satisfying crunchy sound and feel, and has all the high-tech features that most modern speed cubes have, such as core magnets, the best adjustment system, and adjustable magnets. This version doesn't have Maglev, but a more expensive version does. Now, I would argue that not having Maglev is better because it makes it more controllable, but overall, it's a fantastic cube for $32.99, which is a great price. Next up, the best cube under $40. There are a few good options: the Tornado V3 Pioneer and the WRM 2019. The Pioneer is the same great cube as the flagship, but it is faster, and I do think most people would like the flagship more, and I think paying $7 for the need of setup is fruitless. As for the WRM 2019, it's still a great cube even all these years later. I do think it's a little bit outdated, but it is simpler to set up. It has an adjustment system, got magnets, and that's it. It has the feel of a WRM V9, but without the clickiness that the V9 has. It's crunchy and it makes a very satisfying turning feel. I don't think it should be this price in 2023, but oh well. Now for under $45, the best option is the WRM V9. Now there are two versions at this price point. You got the one with heavy repelling core magnets, Maglev, and the one that doesn't. They both have an adjustment system, and they got core magnets, and there is a $1 upcharge for removing some of these features that the other version has, but I've heard it's definitely worth it, so whatever, Bob's your uncle.
Who's Uncle Bob?
But I've heard it's worth it as it adds much needed stability and makes the cube slower. The regular cube is still a viable option as it has tons of features, but it is very fast. I will say these cubes feel amazing, they're crunchy, flexible, and smooth, and I love this cube so much, and I highly recommend you pick up one of these two versions. Next up, for under $50, you can find the Super RS3 MV2 Ball Core, and the YoCube Deluxe V2. The YoCube Deluxe is the cube that Cubehead used to break the national record, and I gotta say, I can see why. It's just a Tornado V3 with Cubehead setup. It feels great, but it is a little bit too tight for me. But if you want a premium setup version of the Tornado V3, this is the perfect option for you. But you do pay the price. Now, for the Super V2, don't buy it. Do not buy this cube. I'm serious. Don't buy it, please. I mean, the performance is fine. It's a more stable V9. It's super blocky and fast, but this cube's price is just outrageous. It's more expensive than the V9, and I think the V9 is a superior cube. So if you are thinking of buying it, I think you shouldn't. I think it's a waste of $48. Next up, in the under 55 range, there's only one cube I recommend. The GAN 12 Maglev. This is the matte version, yes, but it is the same cube as the UV coated. And the GAN 12 is still one of the best cubes in the world. It's very light, as a GAN cube should be, and it feels airy, crunchy, and satisfying to turn. And I think most people will enjoy this cube. If you were to save up some money, you should get the UV coated version for $7 more, as it does enhance the stickiness to be better in competition. Let's move on to under $65. There's very few cubes at this high price tag, and most of them carry the GAN name. But in this price, only one stands out. The GAN 13 Maglev, in matte plastic. Now, I've heard bad things about the 13, as it being the worst new GAN cube, and it being worse than the 12, so I see no reason why you should pick this cube up, and at $62, nah, don't buy this cube. But if you really want to get the 13, you should pay the $7 extra to get the UV coated version, but at this price, just go for a setup version of the GAN 12. Now, we've gone all the way up to under $80. I think you should get the GAN 14 at this price range, but I've also heard negative things about this cube, so choose wisely. You could get the UV coated version, but that's even more expensive, and there's a better cube that you should be worrying about, the Super Waylong. It comes in at 3 versions: the 8 magnet ball core with spring, 8 magnet ball core with Maglev, and 20 magnet ball core with Maglev. Dang, those were some long names. If you're at this high price point, you should definitely skip the other 2 versions and just go for the $100 Super Waylong. You get everything with this cube: core-to-core magnets, edge repelling magnets, Maglev, adjustment system, and even adjustable magnets. You get a box, a bag, a box, a watch, accessories. Wait, you said a watch? Oh yeah, it includes the Moyu time strap, or in other words, the stupidest thing that Moyu has ever made. So for $100, it does have a really premium unboxing experience, but it's $100. Don't buy this. Well, I mean, if you're trying to evade taxes, then buy 10 of the Super Waylong. Anyways, what do you think? Did I miss any cubes? Let me know in the comments down below, and tell me which cube from this list is your favorite. And have a great day. Ho ho ho.